Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. We live in Tennessee, and there's an adage here in Tennessee that basically says, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute, it'll change. And what happened just right before Christmas is we had 53 degrees one day, and then within a matter of hours, it dropped down to -3 degrees. So that was a really fast change and was really dangerous for the plants that we have around here. Now, you have to exercise caution right now. You don't know what has been damaged, what isn't damaged, and how things are going to recover or not recover. So for right now, you need to be patient. You don't need to be making adjustments. You don't need to be ripping out plants that could come back because there's a lot of damage that could have happened or maybe didn't happen. We just don't know yet. For example, right here, this is a pot of chives. And I had some chives in it along with some cilantro down in there, kind of mixed together. But you got all this dead stuff right here on top, but you can see green down underneath. So this very well could all come back and recover just fine. Now other plants that may have had some tender growth growing on the edges there that may have not matured enough, like this boxwood, got some really hard freeze damage on the tips, but the rest of it looks just fine. So over Christmas, we were up at my in-laws' house, and that's of course when the freezing temperatures came, and their holly bushes in the front took a huge amount of damage. Now they are more of a broadleaf type of evergreen, and that's what I'm noticing here, because if I switch the camera around, the yew did fine, and it's more of a fine leaf type of plant. You can see maybe there's a little bit of yellowing on some of the leaves, but it did okay. The Arborvitaes did all right. I don't see any real damage on them. But when I come over here to our camellias, another broadleaf evergreen, they took a lot of damage. They've got a lot of browning on the leaves all over. Now you do notice that there's some green there, some green over here, more brown back over here. So this is a plant that will probably recover just fine. They are technically rated to being somewhere down to -5 to -10 degrees, depending upon the conditions. But what happened is with this freeze, it was a flash freeze. It just went really, really quickly, and the plant didn't have enough time to start generating these antifreeze-like proteins that are inside some of these evergreens, and it took a good amount of damage. And you can see that damage is over here on these Otto Luyken cherry laurels, and it kind of hit all these broadleaf evergreens the most. These should recover just fine. What will happen is that the leaves that are dying will fall off, new leaves will replace them, and this spring this will look like a brand new plant all over again. So it's really nothing to be concerned about at this point, but it is something to be watching for. Here's our other camellia right here. You can see more of that damage as well on it. Both of them are planted fairly close to the house. They're right off our front porch, and would get a little residual heat from the house. However, it was just so cold for so fast a period of time that they just took the damage. These Heucheras did surprisingly well, but I think they were partially sheltered here by this camellia that they're underneath. You can see they did get some damage to it, but it's mostly around the edges of the leaf, not quite in the middle. And the green one here did fantastic. It really didn't have too many issues at all. Now, crepe myrtles are not native to Tennessee or here in the southeast, so they can be a little temperamental when we have these kind of temperatures. What is very possible to happen is that an immature tree, one that hasn't been there for very long, will get this damage and will die back all the way to the ground. So at some point, this might have to all get cut out, and then new sprouts will grow from the bottom of that. However, I'm not going to touch this. I'm not going to do anything with this tree until I know for sure. It's a beautiful tree, and I don't want to do anything that's going to harm its form or shape. I just want to wait and see, and this spring, when things either don't come back or do come back, I'll know what has happened. Over here in this bed, these are hellebores, Lenten rose, and you can tell that they've gotten some damage too. Again, they are a broadleaf evergreen. They took a lot more than the more needle-like things. And they will die back, but will resprout from the base. We may lose flowering this year. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on that. There were probably some flower buds that got damaged, but maybe they were underneath this canopy and were somewhat protected. So we'll just have to check it out when they bloom, if they bloom, and be happy with whatever we get. So the odds are some things are going to not come back. We're going to lose a few plants here and there, but it's too early to tell. So don't do anything crazy with your plants, ripping them out because you think they're dead, because you might just be pulling out good plants that just need a little time to recover. So use some caution with it, be patient, and let's see how things grow. But I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. I hope this video was helpful and encouraging, and if it was, hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you in 2023 with more garden stuff.